Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folare. I will stay in Ekiti today. Quite a number of things going on, but let's stay in Ekiti. Over the weekend, Ekiti decided, as you recall, on Saturday, it was, even into Sunday, it was sort of APC decides, but now it has decided. And when you look at the figures, that is out of sight almost. I'm talking about the candidate of PDP scoring 187,000 odd, and the next in line is Mr. former Governor Oni of the SDP. Of course, Mr. Oyebanji is of the ruling party, and he was the secretary to the government of Governor Kayode Fayemi. Okay, our guests this morning, we have a couple of them, but let's start off with Executive Editor, Upshot Media, Majid Jamil. Majid is still in Ekiti. I don't know what he's still doing there, but thank God for telecommunications and all of that. We still have Majid with us. Good morning to you, Majid.
Good morning, Ofiori, and good morning, viewers.
You're very welcome, sir. So I was just looking at the figures, quite an interesting election, but just especially with your penchant for analysis, 187,057. That was the winning score for the APC's candidate. But then the second, which is former governor of Ekiti State, Segun, 82,000. Although they have said that they will be, protesting, that they will be appealing. But just look at the figures. The first, second, and third, it was something of a landslide for APC.
Yes. Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning, viewers.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm a homeboy here in Ekiti, and I've been monitoring elections in Ekiti since 1999. So I understand the dynamics. And like I said severally on TVC and other channels, have been part of the system before coming back to journalism, just like Dr. Olivia Napati and a host of others.
Okay, we'll connect back up with Majid, but in the meantime, let's give you the candidate Oyebanji's acceptance speech. We'll come back to continue with Majid.
After his declaration as the winner of the governorship election earlier today, the Kogose-born technocrat played host to 3 governors and one former governor who came to congratulate him and present the election result to him. The governor of KB State, Atiku Bagudu, who also doubles as the chairman for Ekiti State Governorship Campaign Council, says the performances of the Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi was hugely beneficial in Saturday's victory, which is a template for success in the presidential election in 2023.
Your election today is a window to 2023. And the results show our party is the ascendancy, and it shows others in descendants.
The governor of Ekiti State, while congratulating his successor to be, says the APC won the election because Oyebanji is a grassroots man, well known to Ekiti people, and charged him not to disappoint in delivering the dividends of democracy.
We were able to do it because we have a sellable product. We have a candidate in that election that is very well known to Ekiti people. Someone who started demonstrating commitment to the Ekiti project in his 20s.
While reading his acceptance speech, Biodun Oyebanji says he's grateful to all who made the mandate a possibility and promised to build on the legacies of Governor Kayode Fayemi.
Coming days and weeks, our great party and the incumbent Governor Kayode Fayemi administration will be working towards finishing well and strong and completing key legacy projects. We are immensely proud of the legacy our mentor and our leader will be leaving behind, and thank him for his labor of love and sacrifice for the homeland. In the course of time, we will set up a transition committee in accordance with Ekiti State transition law and ensure a seamless transition, and demonstrate our preparedness and clarity of vision with effectiveness and efficiency with which we will hit the ground running on assumption of office.
Guests, well-wishers and party supporters have been trooping in to congratulate the winner of the poll, with his country home now a mecca of some sort. Ayomide Ajay with TVC News, Ikogosi, Ekiti.
Okay then, so that was Governor in waiting, Biodun Oyebanji. The incumbent governor is John Kayode Fayemi. Majid, I don't know if we've been able to connect back up with Majid. Oh, okay. All right. At least we can hear you. Majid, you were talking about the figures when something happened. I was looking at the very wide gap, 187,000, and to be precise about it, it's 187,057 votes. And the next guy in line is former governor of Ekiti, Oni, with 82,000. And then Bisi Kolawole of PDP, former governor Oni is of the PDP, and then Bisi Kolawole of the PDP trailing third at 67,457. What do you think was responsible for that wide gap of the winner, 187,000?
Yes, thank you. I think we need to educate ourselves very well here. To me, it is not a wide gap. Like I said, I've been monitoring elections in Ekiti since 1999. Because if you look closely, you will discover that if you see that the gap between APC and the SDP, that's Biodun Oyebanji, and the SDP candidate, Segun, to Nigerians, to everybody all over the world, is 105,000. But in actual fact, SDP and PDP, I treat them as the same in this election, because Segun was in PDP. When he lost the tickets of the PDP, that's when he went to SDP. So I want to say both SDP and PDP, they are the same. So, but for the purpose of extrapolation, getting the dynamics, 82,211 for Segun and 67,457 for Bisi Kolawole, the one we know here in Ekiti as BCK. If you add the two together, it comes to about 150,000. So basically.
Okay, the internet is intervening again. No problem, we'll get Majid back. Now, as you can see, the caption here is APC's historic governorship win. The historic part is the fact that since the return to democracy in 1999, no party has won back-to-back in Ekiti elections. So that's the historic part. No party has ever won back-to-back, but it has happened now, and to that extent. Oh, Majid, you're back with us. I was just making the point about the historic aspect of Biodun Oyebanji's win.
Yes, the network here is fluctuating. Things like that do happen. Now, as I was saying, so for APC is standing on its own, while SDP and PDP, I'll treat them as one, because the former chief of staff to former governor of Fayoshe was the DG campaign of the Segun campaign organization in the SDP. So a lot of people migrated from PDP, went with Segun. So that's why if you add the vote of SDP and PDP together, you see that the margin will come to about 40-something. And like we have read in the media, Segun has said, as usual, he will go to court, while the PDP candidate said he has accepted the result of the election. That's Bisi Kolawole, because he said, he came third. And by the time we go further in analyzing what happened during this election, then you will see that there is no way the SDP could have defeated the candidate of the APC, especially when you see that the SDP candidate also lost in his own local government of Idosi. Recall that in 2009, there was this Ulabalu about Idosi, where the PDP then under Segun won with a margin of about 15,000 to upturn the election of the outgoing governor, Governor Kolawole. But we'll get to all those ones. But then I must state it here that this is the very first time in the history of Ekiti State where a particular party, the same party, will be handing over to the same party since 1999.
Exactly.
So it is very unique. It's very strong.
We'll come back and talk about that a bit more, Majid, because in the meantime, Reverend Dominic has come on the line. Good morning to you, Reverend. Reverend Dominic.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We must congratulate the APC on their large victory.
Hello, Reverend. Please continue. Reverend? Oh, dear. You try to look in again if you can, Reverend Dominic. Majid, you still with us? You were making the point that it...
Yeah, like I was saying, that there's no way the SDP candidates would have expected to win this election. You win elections not by money, but by your structure. So the structure was divided between the PDP and the SDP. So half of the structure went to SDP and half of the structure went to PDP, but some people inside in the main PDP were disillusioned. They either stayed away or voted for another candidate entirely. So that's why the vote of the PDP as a whole was split between SDP and PDP, while that of the APC remained intact. What would have been a result by Asiwaju Bola Tinubu when he came to Ekiti and campaigned? There was this rumor making the rounds that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, will not get the ticket of the APC and that he will support the candidate of the SDP. So they have been using that to campaign in Ekiti. But the mega rally came on Tuesday last week before the election, and Asiwaju changed all of that. And he told Ekiti people, he told Nigerians that this is his first major task as a presidential candidate of the APC, unprecedented in the history of campaigns in Ekiti. 14 governors came to Ekiti to campaign for Biodun Oyebanji. 14 governors, including Asiwaju Bola Tinubu himself, the Emilokon of Nigeria.
Yes.
That changed a lot of things.
It indeed. It was a massive campaign trail that came there and the array that it showed. But Majid, you mentioned money when you were speaking earlier. Talk to me about Segun's complaint that one of the reasons he refused to sign the form and indeed has said that he will be appealing is that the election was compromised. He alleged intimidation and vote buying. Now, you were there. Seeing as you're a journalist yourself, Majid, tell me your sincere observation and feeling about that charge.
Yeah, I think we must be sincere with ourselves here. And there's no way money will not play a critical role in electioneering and politicking in Nigeria. Please get me right, and I'm going to break it down. In Ekiti, for example, there are 2,450 polling units. 2,450. And each party must appoint a polling agent. And these polling agents will collect 10,000 naira each. Now multiply 10,000 naira by 2,400. And the polling agents of each of the participating political parties, as in they are on duty on that day. This is the money they are paid to, for the service, because they are going to stay from 7 a.m. till probably 5, 6 p.m. till the close of business. So they get paid for that duty. So that alone, money is involved.
Yeah, but Majid, I beg your pardon, Majid, that is a legitimate expense. That's not what Segun is complaining about. He's complaining about vote buying.
Now, if Segun complains of vote buying, if it is actually true, let that person who alleges prove it, or even let that person who alleges also come clean and
with
say
proof
he or she is not involved in vote buying if he's actually alleging. I mean, I've had in some discussions locally here that some people were offering 5,000, some people were offering 3,000, some people were offering 7,000. So, but I read it, I'm an Ekiti indigene. I voted in Ibemo. Nobody offered me money to vote. And I didn't see where money were exchanging hands in the polling unit where I voted. And I also moved around because I was in the recording followed throughout with my accreditation as a media personnel. I visited Afao, Fayoshe's town, where we did, I mean, we waited for him, Fayoshe of the PDP. He never came out to vote.
Okay,
and,
one moment, please, Majid. I don't want to lose Reverend Dominic a second time. Reverend Dominic has come on the line. I'll come straight back to you. Good morning again, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori. As I was saying, congratulations to APC. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I say congratulations to APC.
Okay.
But Yori, let's make this point clear. I followed the Ekiti election closely and the statistics. I know Ekiti have over 950 to 970 electorates. But if you calculate what you have there, the turnout is up to 450,000, if I'm right, not up to 450,000. The question I ask myself, what kind of majority that is electing people who govern Nigeria in Nigeria? In Anambra State, it was less than 300,000 people. In Ekiti, there was no more security issues, less than 400,000 people. What kind of majority that they're letting our people in power? Number two, where is those social media brothers and sisters called youth that on social media try to say who will win and who do not win on social media? When I watched yesterday the television 24 hours on Saturday, I saw elderly women, I saw elderly men. I didn't see more of the youth. So I want to use this channel to appeal to the youth. It's time to come to vote. You know what Moji saying. They were waiting for a former governor of that state to come and vote. He didn't come out to vote. And that goes on to most of us, you and me, Yori. I want to accuse all of us now. We got elites in coach. That goes on to all of us. At times we have been, we are put off by the kind of governance we have there. Most of the lighting elite doesn't come to vote. You don't watch Ekiti. You see people who came to vote, market women, market men, who could not even spread democracy. That one who is voting. Number three, sorry. No, I've voted for since 1999. Nobody has given me 1 naira. You will look at somebody who are due to give money. You can't go to a booth, somebody give you 10,000. It doesn't make sense. Who are they giving 10,000, 2,000, 3,000? It's market women. And finally, there's no party that is not guilty of vote buying. Number two, there's no party that's not guilty of vote buying, depending on their capacity, depending on their war chest. So, congratulations, APC.
Indeed.
Let somebody go to court. I don't know how it works. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic, for your contribution. Majid, let me come back to you. You were speaking about where Reverend Dominic left it. He said that, look, no party, in Nigeria can actually absolve itself of vote buying. I know you're going to speak on that, and you have already spoken about this whole question of vote buying, and you use yourself as an example. Nobody gave you any shishi. But the other matter about, well, nobody had to give you anything there, so it is alleged, in the sense that people were taking their phones in until they were stopped, but apparently at the beginning they were taking their phones in, allegedly snapping their ballot paper, ostensibly to go and show later on. So those kind of devices, maybe you comment on that, and also mop up Reverend Dominic's comment that there is no party that can say it has not been guilty of vote buying. How say you?
Yeah, the onus of proof is on the one who is alleging. I've seen representatives of, and I want to ask, why is it that it is only Segun that is complaining in this election? As a journalist, I went round. I've been in Ekiti for close to a week before this election. I've gone round at least 15 of the 16 local governments. And even I projected that in Idosi, where Segun came from, that it's going to be neck to neck, unlike what we had in 2009, where he won with a landslide. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you the reason for that, so that we begin to understand some of these issues. The Director General of the Biodun Oyebanji, the Bio Campaign Organization, is from Idosi, where Segun is also from. Segun is from Ifaki in Idosi, while Cyril Fashuyi is from Ido. The votes in Ido are much more bigger than, much more higher than the votes in Ifaki. So there are 2 wards in Ifaki. Segun won convincingly in the 2 wards in Ifaki. And in Idosi, Ushi, and some other, Orin, Aye, and some other towns in Idosi, Cyril Fashuyi is the senatorial candidate of the APC for 2023. He defeated the incumbent, Senator Bumi Adetumbi. He will not be returning to the Senate. So we need to understand some of these facts. He is very popular. He is very, very strong. And a combination of Cyril Fashuyi and Segun was what gave Segun that victory in 2009. But that combination is no more there now. There is a fraction. Cyril Fashuyi has been in APC since 2018. So that is why APC was able to defeat Segun in Idosi.
Okay, one moment, Majid. Another caller has come on the line. Good morning, Mr. Kesandu in Owerri.
Uncle Yori, I greet you, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, Uncle Yori, let me first say that APC won the election because PDP shot themselves on the foot. And this is a clear indication for everybody running an election in Nigeria that you must present your best and most popular candidate. It is obvious the result of the election shows that Mr. Oni was the most popular candidate that would have come from the PDP. And imagine 2 votes, like Majid said. If he had stayed back in PDP, probably as the standard flag bearer, with these 2 votes, he would have won the day. But that aside, but I want us to condemn something. Going all over the social media and friends in Ekiti State, the rate of vote buying was too much. I thought we were past this level. The intimidation was so much. People were complaining, making even live videos at polling units. What are we doing about these things? And I saw these thousands of policemen. I complained about this thing on one of your programs, even on Journalist Hangout. Now, nothing was done. People were intimidated. So where are we going to? These things are making us skeptical. Like the Reverend said, imagine how many, the total number of Ekiti people, and look at how many persons that are decided. This shows that people are getting tired of this, our system. It is no longer working for us. What is wrong with us? Can we actually make this system where people can actually feel comfortable that when they come out to do this thing, it will count, devoid of these intimidations and vote buying? Somebody should be caught. I've said it. People should, in the National Assembly, let us find a way that INEC will have a place where we catch somebody, let somebody go to jail for vote buying. If it happens, then we will not have, it will be a serious panacea to the problem we're facing in this country. This thing has to stop. Imagine the total Ekiti people. Look at how many persons who are deciding their fate. Look at what happened in Anambra. This is really making some of us fed up. But we'll keep
All right,
pushing.
then. Thank you very much, Mr. Kesandu. Majid, Kesandu just echoed there the complaint of one of the competitors. That's Mr. Oni of SDP. Even though you've explained that, you've even said if you put the votes of both of them together and gave them to one, he would still have won. But intimidation and vote buying, Kesandu brought it up again. And so, in fact, when we were on air, our correspondents also made the observation, and what we, they then got in touch with the police, and then you began to see EFCC and all of those people come around. So, okay. Majid can't hear me because I think he's off. But okay, stay with us, please. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and Mr. George has come on the line since. Good morning to you, Mr. George. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and greetings to Moji.
Okay.
Uncle Yori, firstly, I'm unable to swallow the argument of Moji that the votes of SDP and PDP would have been collected by Segun. SDP was, SDP was already campaigning and making their impact before Oni defected. So it is not, you cannot completely claim that SDP wouldn't have gotten any vote before Segun Oni came in. The crux of the matter is this, in my view. The election in Ekiti is a show of confidence on Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ekiti people want to make a statement that Southwest is for Asiwaju and that they are happy with his emergence. You can see that in the body language of those who came for that mega rally. You could see it in the excitement. And you don't need to be a prophet to know what these people were celebrating. So the turnout, people who say the turnout is not large, let them compare what it used to be with this one. Even the APC chairman at that rally was saying that he has never seen a crowd like this, that he has been coming to Ekiti for several campaigns, but he has never seen a crowd as big as the one that came out. Why was it so? It was because of Asiwaju's ticket for the presidential election. That's what that's the statement the people are making. And that is going to happen in Osun as well.
Okay.
So vote buying, Uncle Yori, is not new. And I wonder why it is only one candidate that is complaining about vote buying. Has he not bought votes before? I don't want to concern myself too much about vote buying because it is an offshoot of corruption. And since the government is really not able to tackle corruption as we expected, you can't expect the vote buying to be isolated from corruption. All the people that are making the allegations are equally guilty of corruption in one way or the other if it is not about votes. It will be about some other aspects of living. So that one, there is little or nothing you can do about it. INEC itself is not even ready because they don't have the manpower to do the prosecution. That's why you see that in their body language, they are not interested about that aspect of it. So let us face the facts of the situation. Something that everybody does. Because you have lost, you are now ascribing your loss to that one. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Well, at least you agree that much with Jamil, because Jamil had also said that let the first person raise his hand that he has never engaged in that kind of a thing. I don't know, it is an argument that will make some people uncomfortable. But Majid, while you were away,
yes.
I think the point was made that the turnout, it was Reverend Dominic who had made that point, that the turnout didn't look to him that good. But you've just heard Mr. George say that, hey, that's better than has been seen before. What do you think?
Yeah, in the history of electioneering in Nigeria, we have not had more than 30-40%. And if you look at the statistics from this election, 988,923 registered voters. And total number of votes cast on Saturday was 360,753 by all the political parties. Now, out of the 988,000 that registered, only 749,000 collected their PVCs, which means 240,000 voters were already disenfranchised, or rather, they have disenfranchised themselves.
Yes,
because
themselves.
One thing is for you to register. The next step is for you to pick up your PVC. So if you refuse to pick up your PVC, you cannot blame INEC for that. And I think I must commend INEC. They have done enough information and voter education to enable people to go and collect. Even the political parties were encouraging their members to go and collect their PVCs. But you can't force somebody to collect a PVC. Some people will tell you they don't want to vote. Now, coming back to the figures, the number of voters, if you look at it vis-a-vis the total registered number of voters, 360,000 for all the parties on Saturday, compared with those who registered. I'm even using those who registered now. You are getting 36% of the votes. But if you come down to the number of people who actually have their PVCs, which is roughly about 750, so it means we have about 50% participation. But then we won't look at that. Let us base it on those who actually registered.
Okay.
So I think I'll give kudos to you. I saw massive crowd. Now I must tell you something. I was in Unit 14 in Igbemo. That Unit 14, I saw an elderly woman. About what this woman can be less than 100. He was assisted to come and vote. He couldn't see, but then he told the officials that he wanted to vote for Fayemi, and they told him Fayemi is not on the ballot. And I'm saying this for a reason. I said, why are you choosing Fayemi? He said, no, it's party. He said, because between 2010 and 2014, she was being paid something they call Owu Arubo. I think it was maybe 5,000 or 10,000 per month. I can't recall now. So he said because of that, he wants to vote for the same person again, or whoever he is supporting. And that goes a lot around in the whole of the 16 local governments. And that's why you see the candidate of the APC crediting Fayemi for his victory and thanking Fayemi for his victory. And another point is the fact that 15 local governments, and like I explained earlier, the SDP candidate lost in his own polling unit. And like I also said earlier, you don't win elections by claiming that you are outbought or that you are outspent. It is your structure that wins you elections. Now, let's go to the PDP convention.
1 second, please. Majid, 1 second. Let me take Mr. Ade, who has called in from the UK. Good morning to you, sir. Mr. Ade.
Yeah, good morning. The line is a bit wobbly. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Oh, okay. Good morning to you and my brother there.
Thank you.
Jamil. So, regarding the election in Ekiti, well, I understand the Boko sits on the rampart. Is there something bad in people getting money to cook soup so that they can eat? Because some people are going hungry and nowhere they don't have money to eat. So somebody now offer them money. I don't see anything bad there, But where I'm going exactly is that I don't want people to associate the victory to Tinubu. No. We in old Ondo State, comprising of Ekiti and Ondo, we have our mind already. We need anybody to come before we can vote for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Tinubu has been in Ondo, Ekiti before, and this with the MTN card. During the second half of Fayemi, he didn't win the election. So we have our mind.
But Mr. Ade, sorry to interrupt you. I was surprised when you said you don't see anything bad there. That is talking about paying people to vote Edibo Esebe. You said because of poverty.
I didn't agree that they should pay. But they can say thank you for coming because you are tired to take something to take ice water or whatever. That's what I saw there. I don't agree to pay and vote. But what I'm saying is that people are hungry. I know how many messages of requests I receive a day from people I don't know on social media, and I bless them. But that is me, just one person. It's because of the poverty. So I don't blame our people. But they vote from their heart. I don't want you to say, oh, because Tinubu come there, that's why he won. No.
All right. Okay. We take the point. Thank you very much for contributing it, Mr. Ade in the UK, one of our very reliable callers. In fact, he's matching guys locally, almost call for call. Thank you very much, Mr. Ade. Majid, you were, illustrating, you were giving us the example of the aged woman, maybe almost 100, who came out to vote.
Yes.
That reminds me of, I think somebody else also mentioned it. It must have been Reverend Dominic. Where were the youths? Because we also, as you know, we were on air on Saturday because of Ekiti Decides, and we could see that a lot of senior citizens took it very, very seriously. You know, but you didn't see the overwhelming numbers you would have expected of, you know, the youth in that election. Do you have any thoughts as to why that might have been?
Yes, there's this urban migration. A lot of youths in Ekiti have migrated to Lagos, and although some of them actually came back to vote, you saw some of them, but by the time INEC gives us a breakdown of the ages of those who voted, you will discover that at least 40 or 50% of those who voted on Saturday will be above 60 years. That I saw in several polling units. And if this is the situation, most of them, their vote will probably go to the APC because they claim that the APC has been a welfareist party, especially in Ekiti, with the conditional cash transfer, the social security money, which they termed Owo Arugbo in between 2010 and 2014, which was also sustained as we speak under the outgoing administration of Dr. Kolawole. So these are factors that actually work in favor of the APC. And I've said it several times that the PDP will come third. I predicted that the PDP will come third in this election because Segun has more mileage. He's been there before. Some people have that sympathy for him that he was cheated. They didn't allow him to complete a first term and talk less of having a second term. So that sympathy for some people, I mean, was with him. But that sympathy would have been better utilized if PDP and SDP were to be won. Even at that, it will only reduce the margin. Like I said earlier, SDP and PDP, if you put their votes together, it's still under 150,000. 82,000 plus 67. That gives you 149,000 compared to 187 by Biodun Oyebanji of the APC. So it might reduce the gap, but then it might not give them victory. So that's why I said you need structures to win. And I was giving the example of the PDP where Wike supposedly spent more money, but Atiku, with the structure and with the experience, won the tickets. Same thing in 2019, where Tambua came second and others, but Atiku still came first then in the PDP primary because of the structure.
Okay.
The structure of APC today in Ekiti, very solid, very strong. This is a party that has been in government now for 7.5 years. And the PDP too. I mean, they were, banking on the structure of IOC, but then that was divided. The campaign DG of Segun today was the chief of staff to Fayose between 2015 and between 2014 and 2018.
Okay.
So
we'll come back and talk about it some more. Sorry, we'll come back and talk about it some more. But Miriam has called in from Abuja. Good morning to you, Miriam.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yuri.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm just calling to congratulate the APC family.
Okay, then.
Yeah, to congratulate the APC family for this win. You know, people keep saying APC is... It's true. We might not have done our best. It's not the best. You know, this administration has not been at its best. You know, we all agree. But the coming of Bola Tinubu, I think this is going to be a new chapter entirely in the politics of Nigeria. And I'm congratulating APC because so many people have been saying APC is not going to win. APC is not going to win in the Southwest. APC is not going to win in the Northwest. You know, all sorts of speculation. This is a massive win for Bola Tinubu. This is the beginning of what is going to happen.
You know, Miriam, somebody called in, one of our regular callers, you are a regular caller as well, from the UK, and said, you know, he's not quite happy or comfortable with this victory being attributed to, you know, the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, So you clearly don't agree with
No, that is his opinion. That is his opinion, and everybody is entitled. That's his opinion, and everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. This is my opinion. I want to attribute this victory. I want to attribute this victory to, the emergence of Ahmed Bola Tinubu as the presidential candidate for APC, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen in Osun State. It's going to happen in every other state that is basically an APC state. I know that. And we are going to get some other states because somebody is saying PDP, APC. Look, put add what Segun got to what the PDP man got. It doesn't take anything away from APC. APC will still win. APC will still have won. So, we are winning. We're on a winning streak. And by the grace of God, Ahmed Bola Tinubu is going to be our president in 2023, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for calling in. Majid?
Yes, I'm with you.
Oh, okay. As you just heard, well, actually, it's 1-1 now. One person had said that you shouldn't be attributing this victory to, Bola Tinubu being there and his emergence. And somebody is saying, well, that's that opinion. As far as she's concerned, it helped. It really did help. But there's also the, shall we say, the track record of Fayemi. There's a structure on ground. Arguably, Fayemi has done quite well by the people. So, Oyebanji was now riding on that, I would imagine. Would you, that was an asset to Oyebanji's candidature, would you agree?
Yeah, two factors there. Oyebanji is an homeboy. From primary school to secondary school, he attended Ekiti State University. He even lectured in that university. The wife is from the Ewis Palace in Ekiti. His deputy governorship candidate, Monisade Afuye, is from the Palace of Oguga in Ikere. And that's why the Ekiti Palace, which is very key, endorsed Oyebanji because of their daughter and because of Oyebanji's record too. And Oyebanji as SSG in Ekiti State was the one handling the affairs of traditional rulers, and he has done very well with them. So, and this same Oyebanji was the secretary of the Ekiti State creation way back more than 30 years ago. So,
he's paid his dues. He's paid his dues. He knows the turf.
He's paid his dues. He knows his onions. He's been commissioner. He's been chief of staff to Otumba Niyi Adebayo in 2003. He was a chief of staff. So some people will come and tell you that kind of person is a neophyte. But those of us who are journalists and we know Ekiti, we understand Ekiti and Southwest politics, we understand some of these things, that there is no way this election will swing. Otherwise, it is for the APC to lose and to further compound the problem of the opponents. The rivalry within the APC was put to rest by the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as presidential candidate.
Majid, let me take Bernard. Bernard has called in from Enugu. I beg your pardon. Bernard has called in from Enugu. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to your guests.
Majid
I live in Electoral between 2010 to 2018, and Ekiti is where I go almost every week. I know Ekiti very well. It's a deserved victory. It's a deserved victory. I was there when all this drama between Faisal and Fayemi. Fayemi is a better person. I think he's better. Trust me, Ekiti on his stand down than every other person. But my worry is monetization of this our electoral system. Vote buying. I don't know how electoral management system in Nigeria can put a stop to that vote buying. Our office holder, political office holders, what they do now, they don't care about what masses want or what masses need. What they wait as during that election, they will stock enough money and come. And this is a trend that will do us no good, because they will stop building our roads or building the infrastructure and keep that money, so that at the end of the day, they will buy. When they buy, they will go away with and nothing will happen. So INEC should find a way so that nobody should have access to have access to that ballot paper. If you cast your vote, you can't show it, you can't go there. So I think if they put a stop to that, our office holder will come out and deliver. When they deliver, they put our vote, not wait until that day they will come give us money, because everybody needs money. Nobody will see 10,000, 5,000, look away with it. So when that day come, they give us money and go away. So INEC, the body that monitors election in Nigeria, to find a way so that those things, they put a stop to it. That's my contribution. Thank you very much.
Okay, Bernard. We've almost run out of time. Majid, we've almost run out of time, but I wanted us to spend the last few minutes talking about INEC. INEC did well in this election by most accounts. They seemed better prepared, and this has been what they have promised, that there will be incremental improvements as we go along. The BVAS thing, they really were on ground with it, and it sped up the whole process and probably made it, it enhanced the integrity of the entire election itself.
I score INEC 95.
Okay, you were going to say 95%. That much I can venture. You were going to say you score them very highly too, but unfortunately, it was cut off. Okay, you're back.
Hello?
Yes. Please continue.
Hello?
Continue, please.
Yeah, so I said the deployment of the biometric voter accreditation system, BVAS, by INEC, which is an advancement over the card reader. I mean, it captures both your face and your thumbprint. The moment they scan your card, it will bring out your picture and all your details. So it's almost seamless. And as you are voting, the moment they finish counting, it's transmitting the results. So even me on my phone, I was monitoring the progress. And the voting ended by 4 p.m. And by 6 p.m., I already had about 70% of the results from all the states, from the INEC portal. So it's like we are getting close to the American election, where you see on time, real time, the way things are moving.
Yeah.
But they still need to work on that BVAS machine.
Yes.
Because we have 21 polling units in town, and in 2 polling units it failed, but they were able to fix it.
And there was one polling unit, Majid, on Saturday, at least in the early afternoon part of it, when our reporters on ground reported that there was an inordinately long line, and as soon as INEC heard about it, they augmented the BVAS equipment there, and then it got moving on again at a nifty kind of a pace and sort of saved the day. So it looks like INEC, they even had a contingency, a sort of a redundancy, a backup. So part of INEC's getting 95% from you, I imagine.
Like I said, we had 2,400 and something polling units, and they deployed 3,500 BVAS machines. But then recall that this is an isolated election. I hope by the time they conclude the Osun election, which is just about 3 weeks away, they will be well prepared for more than almost 120-something thousand polling units across the country. And they are really going to be stressed. So they have used Ekiti as a test case now, and I said I'm scoring them 95% because it's almost seamless, and it will be difficult for you to rig an election with the use of this BVAS, because from the polling units, the moment the result is announced at the polling units, it's like some people will say, it is the way you sit, you see yourself in the mirror or in the picture. So
all right, then.
That's the way it is. Kudos to INEC.
As you would say. Well, we've got to leave it here, Majid. I want to thank you very much for coming on. And, as people have been saying, congratulations to your party. Your party took the day, unless you are maintaining that you don't have a party.
I am a journalist. Congratulations to APC. APC is not my party.
All right, then.
Although I have friends in the APC.
And sympathies too. And sympathies too for the party.
And sympathy.
Yes. Okay, then. Thank you very much, Majid Jamil, Executive Editor, Upshot Media, joining us via Zoom from Ekiti. And that's our program today. Wish we had more time, but tomorrow's another day. Please join us then for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.